What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In today's video, we are hopping into the Phoenix issues 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. This will be Thanos versus the Phoenix. Ever since the fall of X, we've jumped into From the Ashes. We've watched all of our X-Men go off and do their own thing, whether that be finding solitude or forming their own X-Men team. Now, obviously, Marvel had to do something with the Phoenix. Had to do something with Jean Grey. Simply too powerful to keep on Earth and try to intertwine with all the stories that are ongoing. And so we see the Phoenix taking off into the far reaches of space. She takes her great power and she helps those amongst the stars. But her acts of goodness, her heroism would come at a cost, because Jean Grey has come in and she has disrupted the balance. And in doing so, she has caught the attention of the Black Order. She has caught the attention of the Mad Titan. Now, make sure you guys have liked the video, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we start off this issue, we pick up in the Quarry of Creation, outside of time and space at the edge of the universe. This is a graveyard of gods, where Pericus took Adani. The universe is filled with gods. Some of those gods, they lie, they cheat. Others protect and nurture. Some want to destroy. Some simply are indifferent. But all gods, regardless of their function, they all pass judgment. This is where we see the Quarry rise up. It has come to judge Adani's soul, to judge what she is and what she may become. On a moon approximately 3 light years away from Game Worlds, we have the Phoenix that is looking for the Black Order, though they are quite a bit preoccupied because they have a Asgardian zombie horde that's descending down on them. Jean Grey's trying to figure out why the Black Order would want anything to do with these zombies. She knows how to do this, but she can't do it on the physical plane. With Jean reaching out to one of these zombies and touching it on the head, she is able to find a remnants of a man inside. And while this man has only heard stories of the Phoenix, stories of her power, he now begs for her help. But before she can help, she has to understand who he is, what he represents, and why the Black Order would be trying to take him, would be trying to take all the zombies. As we pick back up with Adani, the god judges. He can sense the hurt, the anger, the loss, but he can also sense the love. All of these things inside, and any one of those could dictate the direction that she chooses. Rarely do we have the option, do we have the opportunity to choose the direction for ourselves, to decide where we want our lives to go, on what emotion we are going to put the most eggs into that basket. And so, asking Adani, who are you? Taking us back to Jean Grey, we find out about our Asgardian story. These zombies, as you can imagine, they were once regular people. The Black Order is not the first to try and claim them. In those days, Odin, his son, blood is all they knew, bringing death and destruction to the Asgardian people. This soldier believed that Asgard, it could be a peaceful nation, at least under the right leadership. He was able to find some that were able to support his cause. The idea of a better Asgard, a better future, and they fought to end Odin's bloodline. He knew he would never be seen as a hero or a savior, but he was willing to destroy what he loved to make it better. He never anticipated surviving the attack on Odin, and Odin sentenced them to eternal torture, becoming the Asgardian zombie horde. And Jean, she can really sense all this pain just emanating from his body like heat. Though she's not one to judge, she does make note that killing your own people for a better Asgard is no better than the crimes you accused Odin of committing. Jean Grey finally hearing enough. She says that it is time for them to all rest. She puts them to sleep. They burst into nothing, finally laid down, finally having that peace that they seek. and a single raven's feather falling to the ground. This is when Jean turns to Cyclops' dad and is pretty much like, you could have told me the truth, that you were after the feather this entire time. The truth is, that feather is worth a small fortune. Obviously, Jean's a little pissed off that she was used to find this feather. While they have this argument nearby the Black Order, they're waiting. Jean turns to them and she immediately charges in, with Jean finding herself toe-to-toe with Maw. She tells Maw to listen and listen closely. The next time that Thanos wants to try and come and take something in her cosmos, you better not send the B team. Tell Thanos that he can come and face me himself. With the Phoenix letting out a huge burst of energy, Maw opens up a portal and the Black Order, they hastily retreat. Picking up with Adani, the quarry passed its judgment. Or at least, in a sense it did. The god gave her the option to really judge herself. Decide what you want to be, with Pericus introducing her to the members of the Black Order, letting Adani know that with the help of them, those that would speak on behalf of the Mad Titan Thanos, we will take down the Phoenix. And so as we jump into the next issue, we are picking up in Throne World 2. We pick up with Jean Grey and Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel called just to have her come by. Jean thought it was going to be something big, like a black hole or something of that nature, not necessarily a festival. Captain Marvel's really saying that you can enjoy yourself. You don't always have to be finding all the scariest monsters in the universe and punching them in the face. Carol believes that Jean is kind of still punishing herself, righting the wrongs a cosmic entity, when it took complete control over her, did. All those atrocities committed in her name. And of course, Carol Danvers, she knows something about this. Having your body feel like it no longer belongs to you. Jean really thought if she put in the work, maybe people wouldn't be so afraid of the Phoenix anymore. The problem is, people are always going to be terrified of the Phoenix. That immense amount of power, it is simply too great. No matter how much good it does, you cannot help but see the destructive potential of the Phoenix. So much raw power is absolutely terrifying. But with the two of them headed out going their own directions, we pick up with the Galactic Council. All these representatives coming, sitting down, having a conversation about the Phoenix. Gladiator is putting forward that they can no longer just allow the Phoenix to operate without some kind of regulation. And this is something that Gladiator has brought up numerous times. They do point out that the last time he brought this up, it resulted in him terminating the entire human bloodline of the Phoenix. And some of them say, like, if the Phoenix came for you, Gladiator, some of us might be inclined to just look the other way. Of course, Gladiator trying to say that he did what was necessary for the safety of his people, for the entire galaxy, blah blah blah. But the Council doesn't see any issue with the Phoenix. She is yet to even commit a crime, so why have any concern? Now, Gladiator, he's gonna argue that Jean Grey currently has control of the Phoenix Force, but they've all seen her lose control. His argument is that it is only a matter of time before she loses control. But Gladiator says that stopping her isn't the answer that they need here. They need to control her. This is where our dark god comes into play. Many of the Council can't believe that they even brought him here, but he's about to explain why the Phoenix is the greatest threat that they have ever faced. He is going to prove that you must take the Phoenix out of the equation. This is what picks us up at the Temple of Creation. Telepathically, someone was calling out to Jean Grey, saying that they are going to be her executioner, luring her all the way to this remote location. Jean Grey makes her way inside, and who she runs into is Gore the God Butcher. And obviously, Gore the God Butcher believes that Jean Grey is in fact a god, and so she must fall like all the other gods. Jean is going to argue the biggest flaw in his whole logic is that Jean Grey is not a god. This is where the battle commences. Gore the God Butcher having all black as his heart. Gore saying the last god believed that he could be killed by absorbing the weapon all black, but it only made him stronger. It only strengthened his connection to all black. the symbiote core becoming his very own heart. Gore the God Butcher is all black. While Jean battles, she feels almost ashamed to admit it, but part of her understands Gore. He was a nobody on a nameless planet, watching helplessly as people died despite their prayers to the gods. When his entire family died, something new in him was born, a hatred that infected every part of him. Being a no one in a universe filled with beings who can create and destroy life as easily as snapping their fingers, it would be dishonest of Jean Grey to claim that she thinks Gore's intent was entirely misguided. He used all black the Necro Sword, and he searched out the gods across the galaxy. But without that sword, Gore is nobody. From a nameless planet. She knows this universe has a problem. She knows that solution is not going to be Gore's relentless crusade. She believes she had found a different solution. The solution to Pericus. The solution to the Phoenix. The solution to being a no one from a planet whose people were overlooked by the gods. She believed the solution was not to kill a god, but to become one. This is where we view from the council. They watch as Jean Grey falls to Gore the God Butcher. And Adani wondering why she's here watching this. Because if you guys are trying to demonstrate the horrible power of the Phoenix, watching Gore kill her doesn't really prove your point. But the Dark God says to keep watching. The Phoenix is more than simply a cosmic force. It is a symbol. The Phoenix is no stranger to death. And each time the Phoenix meets death, she only becomes stronger. With Jean Grey reawakening, the Phoenix comes out, and the real battle is about to begin. Hopping us over to issue number 5. Now, before we continue on with Gore the God Butcher, the Phoenix is gonna have a visit with another cosmic entity. The Phoenix has a conversation with Eternity. Now, Eternity, of course, has been expecting the Phoenix. Jean thinking to herself, did Gore the God Butcher kill me? Is that why I'm here? And in a sense, that is why she's here. Not because she died, but because she's thinking in the terms of living and dying instead of becoming the soul of all that is. Of course, Jean doesn't fully understand what he's talking about, so he shows her. We see the cosmic dance of all the entities. Eternity, Oblivion, Death, Celestials, all of them. This grand spectacle. Eternity is showing Jean Grey that it is time for her to join them, to accept your place where you truly belong. What Eternity is telling Jean Grey and the Phoenix, they are known as creation. Just as death exists, Eternity exists, Oblivion exists. Jean Grey and the Phoenix are the living embodiment of creation. They have watched her become the hero. We've seen everything she can do, but she is so much more than that. So Eternity asks, why are you holding back? They all can feel it. The walls she put up, the prison she has built herself in, that she came to the stars because she knew what she needed to become, but still she resisted. This is because she doesn't want to lose Jean Grey. But Eternity reminds her that Jean Grey's an idea, one that cannot be lost, but brought into existence. It may change, but it can never be lost. Jean's still hesitant because if she lets go and becomes what Eternity suggests, what if she loses control? Eternity simply tells her, you can control it. And it's that simple. To a being that does not exist as a part of the fabric of the universe, it would be exceedingly complicated. But she is the Phoenix. The Phoenix does not exist alone. There is a piece of you in every star, in every planet, in every being. The Phoenix is creation. This is what brings us back. The Phoenix in full force standing against Gore the God Butcher. Jean wanted to be a hero, the kind that stopped one bad guy before moving on to the next, to right her wrongs of the past. But the problem was Jean, she was no longer a hero of Earth. Jean was the most powerful person in the universe, telling Gore the God Butcher that I am no god. You were mistaken, because gods have limits. This is where we see her take Gore the God Butcher and damn near bottle him up out of existence, saying that he has caused so much pain. She turns Gore the God Butcher into a star telling him that he will nurture an entire ecosystem of planets. Now, the Galactic Council, they're all watching this happen. Obviously, they all freak out. They're like, holy shit! Like, did the Phoenix just turn Gore the God Butcher into a freaking star? Gladiator's argument is, no matter the punishment Gore is supposed to get, would you deem the punishment being turned into a star? That this council exists for a reason. The Phoenix stands in opposition to everything you have built, to the order you are trying to maintain. And this is when Jean Grey chimes in, letting him know, like, I can hear everything you guys are saying. And while she tries to argue for herself that she's here to help, Dark God pops up and he decides that he's gonna try to chime in. Jean goes on to say that All Black replaced Gore's heart. Without it, Gore wouldn't be able to survive. He was not allowed to be able to maintain that kind of weapon. The easiest way to handle this situation was to bring some good from his death. He had to be separated from All Black. This inevitably leads to him dying, and so she turned him into a star in a way that his essence and being can help countless planets be able to thrive. Ending the communications. The council now comes to the conclusion that their only option is to side with the Dark God. Their only option and chance of survival in his alliance with Pericus. This is where Adani shows up, saying that she had to see it for herself, just as volatile as she had ever thought. But she tells the Phoenix that I'm nobody, simply a life that was destroyed, a father she loved taken away, telling her, you could have stopped the Dark God. Instead, he came to my planet. He killed my father. My soul was judged. And all this started because of you. But Jean, she apologizes, says she did everything she could in those moments, but telling her that you're also not nobody. Jean can feel her soul at war within her body, offering out a hand to help. Adani takes out her sword and she swings it. Given a new purpose, she swings this sword in judgment. Now this sword, it's able to cut the Phoenix, but it also has a power that Adani simply cannot control. This is a psychic reverb. The voice is screaming out in pain. Adani can do nothing but call out for help. And so the Phoenix, using her powers, creates a psychic barrier to help block out the voices. Adani furious that the Phoenix is in her mind, but the Phoenix telling her, like, if I didn't do this, the voices would have killed you, because that sword has psychic abilities, ones that you don't understand, your untrained psychic abilities wouldn't even be able to comprehend. As Adani stands up ready to fight again, we pick up at the Galactic Council, our Dark Lord saying that he is going to deal with the Phoenix once and for all, but in exchange for his protection, Thanos is going to be taking over leadership of the Galactic Council. This is what takes us over to issue number 6. We pick up with Jean Grey and Adani, the Black Order here by her side, and Jean trying to tell her it doesn't have to be this way, that she doesn't have to fight, making the decision to take up that sword and swing. Adani wakes up from her sleep, thinking to herself that she faced the Phoenix, she failed. Worse than that, Jean had entered her mind. She put up a psychic barrier in her mind to stop the voices of everyone across the galaxy in need of help in that moment. Millions of voices crying out in pain. We can see Adani is battling, struggling with this battle in her mind. The good versus the evil. The innocence in her just wanting to break free. To reach out to the Phoenix and just ask for help. Ask for some kind of safety from this Dark God. As we pick up with Corvus and his armada, they have come in to try and fire on the Phoenix. Thanos has control over the Galactic Council. He has sent this armada to take down the Phoenix. But she's not working alone. As this battle gets underway, we have the arrival of Nova. As they battle, the Phoenix knows that Thanos isn't here, but she also can't sense him anywhere. She should be able to find him or the Dark God. It's like they don't exist, or there's something that is blocking her abilities. And that something is the Warlock's eye, having the psychic capability to really block out and hide his signature from Jean Grey, from the Phoenix. Now in control of the Galactic Council, he is subjugating worlds, taking them one planet after another. Corvus showing up to let him know the Phoenix has shown up, Nova is there, and we are in some deep trouble. But the Phoenix having some help gives Thanos an opportunity. This is where he uses the Warlock's Eye, takes control of Nova, and has Nova attack the Phoenix. As he attacks, she does everything she can not to hurt him, but inevitably she has to knock him in the face. Knocking him down, knocking some sense into him. He gains control again, trying to figure out what the hell just happened. Jean now knows that something is giving him augmented psychic abilities. Could be any number of things in the universe, but she knows she has to take the fight to Thanos. And taking the fight to him means she's gonna need a little bit more help. Not knowing what she's walking into, not knowing what weapons he has, what magical powers he may have come across or person he may have come across. She needs to make sure she's got some help. And so with Nova coming along, we have the arrival of Captain Marvel. We have the arrival of Sif and Rocket Raccoon. For what the Dark God has done to Asgard, Sif has joined the fight. This is what takes us to issue number 7. As they travel, they debrief her on the Warlock's Eye, a weapon that grants the wielder powerful mind control abilities. It had been under Asgardian control until recently. As they prepare for battle, they don't really know where they're headed, but then she thinks maybe Adani can help me out. They've been forming a psychic leak in their dreams. She's thinking maybe this will work. And so she taps into her dreams, tells her that I need to see you, wanting to help each other. Jean shows her entire life, shows Jean's life. The death of her friend in her arms, going to the school, becoming an X-Men, becoming Dark Phoenix, showing her all the darkness that has been inside of her, trying to help and have Adani understand her. Jean Grey, a woman of limitless power but immeasurable pain. Adani willingly giving up the information of where Thanos is. Our heroes don't waste a second. They get to the planet, they get boots on ground, and Rocket Raccoon opens fire. As our heroes take on the generals of the Black Order, the Phoenix goes to take on the Mad Titan. Jean doesn't waste any time in going in on Thanos. And when Thanos hits back, he uses the Warlock's Eye, hitting her like a bolt of lightning. It begins to wrap her up, and he tells her that the Phoenix may be all life in creation, but Thanos serves death. Asking her, how does it feel knowing that you are going to destroy the entire universe? Captain Marvel and the others seeing her starting to get overpowered, overcharged. A swirling tornado of lightning surrounding her, pushing any hero out that tries to go in. Thanos tells her that you believed your powers were enough to defeat me, and most likely you would have been correct. On the battlefield, he probably wouldn't have succeeded against the Phoenix. But what happens when life incarnate becomes irrevocably corrupted by death? This is a void that would cancel out all of existence. Life and death vying for control inside one vessel, inside Jean Grey, with her currently trapped and paralyzed. The forces beginning to devour themselves. Thanos used the Phoenix Force and he walked right into the trap. But if she could stop being the vessel, it might be able to change something. She is the Phoenix is her. But the power of the Phoenix, if she could remove the ability and stop Thanos from channeling the Warlock's Eye through it, the only person she is able to psychically reach, it might be too dangerous. But reaching out to Adani, she gives the power of the Phoenix to her, and in doing so, takes away any power of what Thanos was doing. The Warlock's Eye currently down. Sif takes her sword and drives it right into the eye. Captain Marvel simultaneously coming in and knocking Thanos right to the ground. Thanos says that this was a smart play, giving up your powers to stop the Warlock's Eye. It was an unpredictable move. Perhaps your only move on the board, though you think you may have bested me. You created your own worst enemy. And now Adani with a part of the Phoenix powers. Jean tells her that you can't keep these powers, that they're going to destroy you. Jean attempts to take the powers back from her, but Adani tries to fight her. And in this, we see a giant blast of light. She had trusted Adani because she wanted to believe that she could prevent the very same thing that happened to her, to save a child from corruptive pain. But no matter how hard she tries, she can never escape this past. As we pick up in the blue area of the moon, the Phoenix is fragmented, and so this takes her back home. It takes her back to the X-Men. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. It was all a pretty fantastic story. I'm not a big fan of the Phoenix being fragmented. I think that was probably the worst part of this series so far, but definitely everything else I loved. You know, Eternity coming to Phoenix and really letting the Phoenix know, like, you belong with us. You don't belong doing everything you're doing anymore. You should be operating on a much larger scale. You are creation. You shouldn't be running around being a hero. And reminding her that you don't die. You are creation. Anytime somebody thinks that they killed you, they have never actually killed you. You are in everything that exists. There is no possible way to kill all creation without wiping out literally all of existence. But the Phoenix story has been off to a phenomenal start. These last 7 issues are absolutely fantastic, a great way to take the Phoenix after the fall of Krakoa. But there's a piece of me that is simply waiting for the Phoenix to truly return and our second Krakoan age to begin. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you want to get caught up on everything going on with this series, go ahead, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It's gonna get you completely caught up on everything going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you're unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.